In our last video, we were working on the graphics that are under the text but above the background. We have a couple of more things that we want to do to this. And we're going to go back to our file browser, and we're going to find one more area that we want to change or add some texture to our background. And it's Brayer 05A. And we're going to import that, and you'll see it pops up as again has that texture to it, but again we want to colorize this to the same one that we used before, the lighter gray. So I'm going to hold the option button down and then drag that filter from 05 to 05A. And you'll notice that it's added to it. It's a little bright, so we will need to change our color just a little bit, but it's close to where we want it to be. So in this, we need to make sure that we're changing our blend mode to what the other ones were, which is linear light. So it makes it a little bit more see-through and helps that. But we're going to take the colorize and we're going to make it a little bit darker. So it's still that gray color, but it's just a little bit darker. Right there. And now we want to accent that same square. So we're going to rearrange it or change it a little bit to like right there. Now you'll still see that it's hanging off from the edge. So let's just bring this side in a little more. And just sort of like right there. And so we have the brighter, where it's overlapping, it's a little bit brighter, but it's adding still that texture to it that we want. So with this darker gray, it doesn't appear that it's too bright. And one more thing we want to do is find the Brayer 05B, which is a vertical stripe. And we can drag this, we can import it. We want this to change, and we're going to make this a vertical line, so we need to rotate, and then we'll position and scale it to where we want it to. We want it to cover this line from pretty much top to bottom. So let's rotate it. Let's go the other way. Now remember, you can hold the shift button down to get it to the 90 degrees you want. And we're going to move this layer up a little bit on this line, and we want it to be right even with this line that's under the 2. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to colorize this one as well. So let's hold the option button down and drag that colorize up. This time though, we're going to change it to a somewhat darker red. There we go. And let's move it over just a little bit, right there, to line up the edge of this with the other one. And let's again lower the opacity just a touch so we're seeing that line underneath. Maybe to 85% is pretty good. It's about as close as we're going to get it. And let's double check that color. Maybe just a little darker. So now this red line is sort of separating our colors from each other, but still, because of the other underlying lines, we have it right there. The other thing we want to do with this is we want to change our blend mode. So we're going to go make sure that we're on the Brayer 05B, and this time we're going to use the multiply, which will darken it just a little bit. It gives it that more of a tint that's going to match the reddish brown that we're looking for. And to finish off this graphics underlayer, we need to add a graphic to highlight our text to make sure it's easier to read. So let's use the torn vellum strip, and all you can really see is the torn part, but it's this white strip goes across. So we'll import that, and we're going to take it and drag it down a little bit to where it's to document the years, so we can see the to document the years. And let's go to our inspector, and we can hit Command 3 and go to our properties, and let's reset our graphic to 100%, make it just a little bit bigger. Because the graphic is larger than the canvas, it was automatically scaled down, but we want it to work for us where it's slightly going off on both edges. And we're going to lower the opacity to about 20%. So we don't want it to show up too much, but we want to be able to see what's underneath. And again, it might be a good idea to take your opacity and just type in 20. Let's go back to our Brayer 5 layer and let's raise this up a little bit to the line. That way we're not seeing too much underneath and it's not interfering with our vellum strip. There we go. So the last thing we want to do with our vellum strip, let's go ahead and copy that. So Command D. And because it's at 20% opacity, just to have it copied a little bit more will brighten the strip up, but still allows the lower graphics to shine through. So let's go ahead and save here. And now we're going to go ahead and close that group. We're finished with the graphics underneath the text for now, and it's starting to come together. So go ahead and hit Command S to save one more time, and we'll start with our next section in our next video.